Coming up next, a baby boy delivered 3 months premature to a dying mother. How he amazed nurses, survived, and is thriving now. Coming up next. You're watching 11 Alive News at 11, where you get top stories and your first look at weather in the first 11 minutes.
One of the cruelties of life is that in a culture where pregnancy can be a status symbol or an afterthought, some people would give everything they own to have a child and are still not able.
Linda and Brent Wood stretched their finances and their marriage to the breaking point to find a way to start a family without success. And then as health editor Mark Picard reports, they met Parker.
There has been a terrible accident. We got one car flipped over upside down.
It's last fall. The victim of a car crash lies brain dead in a central Georgia hospital. Blood tests reveal the woman is 8 weeks pregnant. No one knows who the father is. Her sister assumes legal control and asks that this woman be kept alive until the baby is born.
We just couldn't understand why we were having to go through so much heartache and so much turmoil to achieve the goal of what seems so simple to other people, to have a child.
At the same time, in Gwinnett County, Linda and Brent Wood are emotionally and financially exhausted. They are unable to conceive, and 2 adoptions have fallen through at the last moment.
And then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I get a phone call from a client of mine.
It's the sister of the woman on life support. That woman has died, and her baby had to be delivered 3 months early. She wants to know if Brent will consider adoption.
This child has a lot of problems, you know, and I'm like, I don't know if if we're ready to take on that.
3 months premature, the baby is transferred to the Grady Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. Veteran nurses who'd seen it all had not seen the likes of this child.
He arrived with the transport team. Then I thought, oh my goodness, oh, what a poor little soul.
The baby has a heartbreaking list of medical liabilities. Doctors say he will never breathe on his own. They say his brain isn't working properly. He has severe lung disease, eye problems, liver problems, bone disease. He's having seizures.
We saw his little body laying there and his little heart beating, and we just fell in love, and we didn't want to give up on him.
But will this baby give up on them?
He, was just probably not going to make it, that, they never expected him to breathe on his own.
That night, something amazing happens.
He managed to just pull that tube right out. He took a grasp and he pulled.
The baby decides he is ready to breathe on his own.
We were willing to go through whatever, because he was a fighter and he was ours.
They name him Parker. He gets stronger, and he comes home.
He came home on oxygen 24 hours. He had an apnea monitor. He had a pulse ox monitor. I mean, he was a sick little boy.
Ready, go, jumping, jumping.
That was 2 years ago. Today, Parker is dealing with some vision problems, and he gets therapy 3 days a week at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. He has more than just survived. He has flourished.
Parker has touched so many people's lives just by his strength and his will, to survive and to continue on.
Score! Yay!
Linda and Brent Wood struggled to understand why they suffered so to have a child. Now, they know.
We know that he is the child that we're supposed to have. We know that he's the reason we couldn't have a child of our own, that the other 2 adoptions fell through. I mean, he's our child.
His parents believe Parker is here to do great things in his life. He already has. Linda and Brent Wood still get a little nervous during pollen season and then again during cold and flu season. With Parker's fragile lungs, any irritation or infection could turn life-threatening. Despite all that he has gone through, Parker is doing pretty much what other children his age can do. And while that amazes his therapist, it does not surprise his parents. They agree with what entertainer Al Jolson once said, with apologies to English teachers, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I believe it. Oh, I'm sure we'll see a lot more from Parker.
No, he's doing great.
Thank you very much,
Excellent, Mark.